Hello America, this is Call of Duty Goddess. Today is June the 19th, 2016. Happy Father's Day. I'd like to do a video about guns. Orlando's Pulse Gay Bar was a gun-free zone by state law. And that's from Breitbart. June the 12th, 2016 it's dated. So, turns out it was a gun-free zone, huh? Do you think this may have occurred if it wasn't a gun-free zone? Good question. I don't think it would have. I'm at Freedom Outpost here at an article titled United Nations Meet to Disarm American Citizens, Population Focused on ISIS Murder. And that's from Lori Anderson, June 14, 2016. Well, turns out that the UN had a conference from June 6th to June 10th. Isn't that odd timing? Especially when Mateen's dad was apparently a regular at the State Department. He met with Charlie Rangel, Dana Rohrabacher, and Ed Royce. Royce is the chairman of the U.S. House Committee on Foreign Affairs. Huh. Crazy. You think? And I've heard, I can't confirm, and I didn't really look into it, that something about the golf course that was near the home of Mateen and Obama went there or something like that. I didn't check it out to confirm it, but it is worth mentioning. So, back to the article. The mainstream media have consistently bombarded us with the ISIS mass murderer story, yet have failed to report on the issues that affect the whole of American people. Issues that will cause all of us to be unarmed, leaving us at the mercy of madmen and criminals. I'm speaking about the unalienable rights you were born with, which were confirmed in the Second Amendment to the Bill of Rights. Your right to keep and bear arms is being attacked via agreements by an unelected body of individuals wishing to control and disarm we the people, leaving all of us helpless to defend ourselves, as was the case in the Florida massacre. The United Nations held the 6th biennial meeting of states to consider the implementation of the Program of Action to Prevent, Combat, and Eradicate the Illicit Trade in Small Arms and Light Weapons in all its aspects. This meeting was held June 6th through June the 10th, 2016 in New York. Located in their draft outcome report are many disturbing findings. Of course, I'll leave the links for all of these below. The document, titled 6th Biennial Meeting of States to Consider the Implementation of the Program of Action to Prevent, Combat, and Eradicate the Illicit Trade in Small Arms and Light Weapons in all its aspects, states the following. States reaffirmed their respect and commitment to their obligations under the international law and the purpose and principles enshrined in the Charter of the UN, as well as those set out in the Program of Action, including its 8th to 11th preambular paragraphs. States welcomed the progress made in implementing the Program of Action and the International Tracing Instrument since their adoption, including on the establishment, strengthening, and enforcement of national laws, regulations, administrative procedures to prevent the illicit trade and illegal manufacture of small arms and light weapons, the development of national action plans, the establishment of national points of contact, the submission of voluntary national reports, and the strengthening of sub-regional and regional cooperation. They also welcome progress made in implementing stockpile management and security, the collection and destruction of illicit small arms and light weapons, the marking of small arms and light weapons, technical training, and information sharing. States reiterated the importance of national laws, regulations, and administrative procedures, integrity, coordination, and where they exist, national action plans to the full and effective implementation of the POA. States noted the opportunities new technologies, when available, can offer and enhance small arms and light weapons stockpile management and security, including through improved marking and record keeping, and for the destruction of surplus small arms and light weapons that they have designed for destruction. States welcomed the adoption of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, including Sustainable Development Goal SDG 16, to ensure that destroyed and deactivated small arms and light weapons are rendered permanently inoperable, such that illicit reactivation is physically impossible, and recognizing the value of relevant best practices in this regard, to take into account the complementaries between the POA, relevant sub-regional, regional, and global instruments in which member states participate in order to enhance as appropriate national level coordination on the implementation of the POA, to share best practices in physical stockpile management and security, as well as permanent weapons reactivation, in order to prevent the diversion of small arms and light weapons to illicit markets, illegal armed groups, terrorists, and other unauthorized recipients, including the conflict and post-conflict situations. To continually assess national stockpiles for surpluses and to responsibly dispose, preferably through destruction, of small arms and light weapons that no longer meet operational needs. Politicians such as Obama and Hillary and certain factions of mainstream media have tried to gloss over the true nature of the UNSAT for years. The American people have been told the UNSAT has nothing to do with disarming the people, nor the eradication of individuals' right to bear arms. These statements have proven to be false and misleading time and time again by the UN's own documentation. Keep in mind, John Kerry signed this. National law shall prohibit civilians from acquiring, owning, or possessing light weapons, automatic small arms, and armor-piercing ammunition. The United Nations openly shows within their own reports they must be successful in disarming the population as a whole in order to establish their UN Agenda 21, also known as 2030, the Sustainable Development Agenda. The people of America must unify together in a joint effort across our union to stop these unelected bodies from destroying our individual, unalienable right to self-defense before it becomes too late. Contact your representatives, your local sheriffs. Share this information everywhere. We must start visiting our sheriffs and find out where they stand on protecting our unalienable rights. If they are unaware of their authority, be active and help educate them. CSPOA.org is a wealth of resources for sheriffs and police officers. Let your sheriffs know you are holding them to the oath they took before taking their position, and you will make sure if they violate their oath, they will be held accountable. Acting under color of law is no excuse. 18 U.S. Code 242 states, whoever, under color of any law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom, willfully subjects any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or to different punishments, pains, or penalties on the account of such person being an alien, or by reason of his color or race, than are prescribed for the punishment of citizens, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 1 year or both. And if bodily injury results from the acts committed in violation of this section, or if such acts include the use, attempted use, or threatened use of dangerous weapons, explosives, or fire, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both. And if death results from the acts committed in violation of this section, or if such acts include kidnapping or an attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse or an attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to kill, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned for any term of years or life for both, or may be sentenced to death. As Sheriff Richard Mack stated in his book, The County Sheriff, America's Last Hope, as Thomas Jefferson opined, when all government shall be drawn to Washington as the center of all power, it will render powerless the checks provided, and will become as venal and oppressive as the government from which we separated. The county sheriff is our nation's last line of defense for the preservation and return to fundamental and individual liberty. Bottom line, America was founded as a constitutional republic, a representative form of government with extremely limited powers, confined within the perimeters as expressly set forth by the supreme law of the land, the Constitution itself. In order for the founders to perpetrate the principles of the Constitution, they secured a proviso of art. 6 paragraph 3, which states very clearly, all executive and judicial officers, both of the United States and of the several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution. Therefore, what is your supreme duty and responsibility? That's right, to protect and defend the U.S. Constitution. There is nothing we could do that could come even close to justifying any peace officer in this country for failing to keep his oath of office. Now more than ever, our people need to arm themselves, trained, and be prepared to defend the innocent from terrorists and criminals. Police are unable to protect you when every second counts, as proven in this massacre. It is your duty and your right to protect yourselves. You, not the police, are and always have been the first responders. By working together, we can defeat this tyranny. Now and not tomorrow, we must stand up. Stand strong, stand united, and say no more to their gun-grabbing agenda. Semper Fi, bitches. And that was a very informative article. Thank you, Miss Lori Anderson. And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that was a gun-free zone. Keep in mind, this incident happened right after that UN agenda meeting. The guy's father was at the State Department. You may think that people did or didn't get killed. The issue of the problem is gun control and what they are doing or not doing to make that happen. None of us may agree on what happened, but I think we can all agree on why it happened. This is Call of Duty Goddess signing off. I'll leave all the links below. And as always, I've got your 6.